Hey folks, Technivorous here. Welcome everybody to the channel. If you haven't already, I'm going to jump right into it and tell you go ahead and reduce your Z offset on that subscribe button down there and make sure you give it a good first layer squish. That said, today we're looking at IceSL. So IceSL is a slicer, but it also has something called the Forge, in which you can use .lua code to create your own models. Now I did this parametrically, which means it has certain parameters that can be altered to alter the model. So all of this blue text here, each one of those is going to be a different thing that we can tweak. And if we open the tweaks box here, let's get a little bit better view of this here. You can see these are all of the things that we can change. I've also added a couple of views. So there's these pillars around the outside, which using this checkbox you can turn on and off. If I turn them on and I see that there's lines in them, there is an ornamentation there. So let's click on pillar design. There we go. Now we get a large version of this pillar. Alright, now keep in mind that this is all done through code. And you can see that it makes a column and then it removes little tinier columns and gives you this nice pillar shape. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments to this. We can make it wider, and we can add more lines to it, and we can actually make those lines wider as well and get some pretty interesting shapes. So that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like back on the full design. And now we can see that our pillars have changed here. Okay, so that's just one of the many parameters that you can change. You can also change the text here. Let's make this one say Technivorous. And there it is. You can also change, because this isn't centered, because you can change how many characters there are here, you can change the location on the front as well. Now this is subtracting and doing those letters in the negative, but I've also added the option to do that in the positive. So it will instead extrude these instead of making them negative. This is the only font I have in here for now. I plan on updating this. We'll add a bunch more fonts, but those are kind of dependent on your machine anyway. So there is also, let's get a look at the lid. I don't want to flip over, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the lid button, which has done that for me. And you can see I also have Technivorous printed here. So let's change this text. What did it say before? It said like stash box. Okay. So you can see that that's what it says there. If we go back to the full view, it is updated here. So we can also, and this doesn't affect the print at all, but we can change the color of these items in the view just to get kind of a better idea or a more high contrast view of what's going on here. So how does this all work? Well, basically these are a bunch of variables which determine the widths, heights, etc. of all the items that I'm using. And then down here I am using IceSL Forge to create different shapes, cubes, mostly cubes. There are some cylinders in here, and then using addition and subtraction you can boolean these together. As you see here, there is a union between the model called base, which is a cube, and the model called left, which is the wall cube that's been translated. So if you're not into code, this probably isn't the method for you, but you can definitely download this file and make a few boxes of your own. You can also change the length, the width. You can change the height of the bottom there. That's the base height. You can also change how thick the walls are, how tall the walls are. So pretty cool file to play around with. If I go in here and hit space, it'll put everything back to how it was, to the default. So that's good to know. Once you have your box chosen, all you need to do from this section is go to File, and then, oh wait, no, that's not how you do it. Sorry, you actually got to open the slicer part here. And you can either slice it right to G-code from here, or you can export to mesh, which is what I normally do. A couple other interesting options in here. You can contour for laser cutting. So if I were building this box, I could get a model for laser cutting out of, say, plywood, the snap together parts for this box, which is kind of cool. But I go to export mesh, and basically from top to bottom, it works more accurately down here, but it also takes more computing time. So I always use ribbons or slices, and you're going to want to decrease this thickness size to like 0.01 or something like that. Save changes, yes, yes, yes. All it's saving is that space that I put in there. And then it's going to do some work, and we should get our model exported that we can pull into Cura or any other slicer. You can directly slice it from here, which is kind of cool. I do use it relatively often. I just wanted to show people how to get the file out of here in case they didn't want to mess with this interface too much. So I will put this up on my GitHub. You'll be able to download the file. Actually, no. You know what? We'll do the STL of the one I just made, and we'll do the Lua file. We'll put them up on Thingiverse and My Mini Factory. You can grab them there. I'll put a link down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe and that like button, and we will see you in the next one, guys. If you're interested in IceSL and you want to see more videos, leave me a like. If I get enough likes on this video, I will definitely dive in and do some more parametric modeling, show you a little bit more detail about it and how it's done. It's really, really fun, and it's nice to see that with small changes, your whole model can be altered and work perfectly with what you're trying to do. So we'll see you in the next one.